It was like the cloud of Elijah's servant saw in 1 Kings 18:43 and 46. And he said to his servant, "Go up now, look toward the sea." And he went up and looked and said, "There is nothing." And he said, "Go again 7 times." And at the 7th time he said, "Behold, a little cloud like a man's hand is rising from the sea." And he said, "Go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot and go down, lest the rain stop you." And in a little while the heavens grew black with clouds and wind, and there was a great rain. And Ahab rode and went to Jezreel. And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he gathered up his garment and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. There was a tiny cloud the size of a man's hand. There was a nearly invisible pink line. We knew God was looking for us to put our faith into action, just as Elijah did. We went to the clinic to get a blood sample, but the results wouldn't come back until the next day. God's faithfulness from Melody's perspective. God's faithfulness from Melody's perspective. After having our daughter Havila through adoption, we still couldn't shake the desire for more children and God's promises on our lives. Raising our daughter and seeing her grow each month was a joyful journey. It helped me to keep believing in God's words because she was a miracle I saw daily. We knew God was the only one who could bring another miracle into our family. We did what we knew to do in the natural and had to rest in what God was doing. In December 2024, we sat down to have a typical conversation with our naturopathic doctor. I think I'm saying that right. Naturopathic doctor and OBGYN. Discussing our next steps. We talked about what things we would address next and see what was the new year would bring. It was an exciting time as we began to think and pray about being pregnant in the following months. We had expectant hope. We wanted to try naturally without IUI and see what God wanted to do. It would be 4 years since I became pregnant with our son Cannon in January 2021. Being back on this timeline felt surreal, but we believe God would do a miracle in our family again. I was reminded that each testimony and breakthrough was a weapon against the enemy for us, and our testimony for our children was our children. Behold, children are a inheritance from the Lord, the fruit of the womb a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemy in the gate. Psalms 127, verses 3 through 5. God was not done writing our story. We felt so sure of it. Constant reminders and confirmations from God made it evident that his fight was our family will bring the victory. Constant reminders and confirmations from God made it evident that his fight for our family will bring victory. There was endurance that was needed on our part and a continued belief that God was faithful. After hearing more pregnancy announcements, we could tell our attitudes and hearts were different this time. We were genuinely happy for those people. Yes, we wanted it too, but we could honor what God was doing in their lives and others' lives. We took a couple of risks without having to do IUI or IVF. And on January the 30th, we saw one dominant pink line and a faint one. But it was there, 2 lines, a miracle in the works. I asked David if he could see them because I was shocked. Our faith increased and we knew our dream would be confirmed the next day. We prayed and thanked God. It was happening. God remained faithful. We were expectant in faith for it to happen in January. And once it happened, it realigned our lives once again to God's faithfulness. God always comes through on his word. He is waiting for us to partner with the better word that he speaks. We look forward to all God has in this pregnancy and child because it was his idea. His blood brought victory to fruition in our lives. We are overjoyed to have this gift. We pray the same for you, however that comes, whether it be naturally, through IVF, through donor eggs, adoption, etc. These are each a miracle. There is no lesser miracles in God's kingdom. God knows exactly the path he wants you to take. Surrender to the process from David's perspective. Surrender to the process from David's perspective. I remember Melanie sending me a voicemail from the clinic. I was at work, so I went to the bathroom to listen to it. I heard the nurse say, "Your blood levels are constant with early pregnancy. Congratulations." I fell to my knees and worshiped on the bathroom floor. Only God can come through suddenly like this in his perfect timing. It was so perfect that we got to finish this book with our suddenly and encourage you that yours is coming. You can ask our editor. We told her that we were believing by faith that we'll get to add another chapter. She was gracious and believed with us. We wrote this entire book in the middle of our journey by faith. And we had already handed our manuscript to the editor, and God showed up in power. Whatever it is that you are believing for and contending for, take this testimony as your own. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10 says, "For the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy." Surrender to the process. God does the suddenly. We are praying over every person who reads this. I release our testimony over you. May you experience the suddenly of God's breakthrough as you lean into his process.